Testing. 1, 2, 3. First of all, if any of you that has come back to the chat room, there was a problem with my internet connection. It was lagging and we lost contact. So sorry for anyone. Hopefully some of you will come back. If y'all come back, I'll probably continue where I left off. I do not know what happened with the internet connection, but yeah, the internet connection kind of got faulty. So that's what happened. I'll be right back. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Actually, actually, um, actually, I just put back on. There was an internet connection issue. Uh, uh, um. All right. Yeah, you should be able to come in now. Yeah, it's a part two because it's only been created because of the fact I just put in the link in the Hangout. The Yeah, yeah, something was wrong with the connection. All right, all right, thank you. I was wondering if any of y'all heard that. Yeah, I was just talking to the information man on the phone. Basically, he had some stuff to do before he can try to get on. But yeah, um, yes, I understand that you probably just heard silence. I had to do some stuff real quick around the house because I'm about to wrap up and get ready to go back to work tomorrow. And also I had a internet connection issue that is basically caused for anyone who is here. Yeah, we had an internet connection issue that disconnected the internet at my house temporarily, and what happened, or at least my computer temporarily, and that's what caused the chat the live stream to go down. So it looks like I got at least maybe a two viewers or a couple back. But I might have a guest, might, but if anyone wants to join me, I did leave a link. And for some of you who are watching that I might have emails information of, I will also put the link in your emails and you can basically join me through there. Mm, but yeah, I was in the conversation concerning the net neutrality situation.
Hey, what's up, brother? It's
Hey,
information, man.
what's up?
I'm on
What's
with you.
up? Yeah,
It's all good, brother. It's interesting that you're talking about this topic, man, because well, maybe about a year ago, when this whole thing was hitting the fan, I did a video about net neutrality and what it meant, how it was going to affect us, what Donald Trump and his cronies done or engaged in, um, everything about. I mean, the commission, the communications. I mean, they're supposed to be protecting us from this very situation, and yet he got Pi up there to destroy the very thing that they're supposed to be protecting. You know,
yes.
and everybody forgets that. Obama had some negatives, but people forget that Obama is partially responsible for maintaining the net neutrality system.
That is correct. But a lot of people are also blaming him for the net neutrality might being destroyed because he was the one that put a JIT Pi in the FCC in the first place. But if Ajit Pai could have been booted out, even with Obama leaving office, but Trump ended up making him the head chairman. But then again, Trump would have made him the head even without Obama appointing him, because Trump can appoint anyone to the FCC if he wanted to. So I also can't blame Obama really. Ajit Pai would find a way in.
Well, I mean, Obama put in specific rules. He's saying that basically, what is net neutrality? It means that no matter whether you're rich, you're poor, you're well off or not, everyone should have equal access to the internet, no matter where you live. That you have equal access, uninterrupted. And by taking away net neutrality, now you can make the have and the have-nots, and then you break everything up and allow corporations to put us in a tier system when it comes to buying packages. So, for example, me and you are both on YouTube, sort of like what they do with cable right now. Imagine that they would send us something in the mail and say, hey, if you want YouTube and if you want Facebook and all your social media, well, you're going to have to pay for a social media package, which will cost you blah, 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 right? If you want your sport content, like your ESPN or your Fox Sports, you're going to have to pay for a certain package for that. So you bundle the internet up in these tier systems, just like you have with cable right now. Used to be a time when you could say, hey, I only want Showtime, I only want HBO, but now you can't do that. Everything is a damn package that you got to pay for extra for stuff that you don't even want.
That is 100% correct. I mean, you could probably still end the subscription of HBO if you want to, but I mean, you have to, yeah. Or if you just want just one website, you have to pay just to get that one website, which is the internet, which currently is now a free internet. You get it all for just one payment. You don't get separate payments. You get a certain payment of $100 a month to get all of the internet, not
Exactly.
just $10 for one package and another $10 from another package.
Exactly. So it's another. Let me bring something up to you as well, and ask yourself this: have you noticed? And I don't know how many people have really peeped this out, but I noticed ever since they took away the net neutrality, and I'm hoping that they're gonna stop this in the courts. I'm hoping that whatever lawsuits or things that are being filed in court, I hope that it's slowing it all down. But it's already been put out there that if you notice that your handheld devices, your phones, your cellular phones, your iPhones, your droids, your tablets, your iPads, you notice even your internet at home. Do you notice that it's starting to buffer more? That every time you try to get into something, a website, it's slowing. The buffing is getting worse, or the buffing is more. It's happening more often. I'm noticing it myself, and I've recently bought got a new, a better modem that Comcast was giving out because my internet is through my Comcast. They gave me a top-notch modem, brand new modem, and I'm still noticing that sometimes there's some buffering effect happening more often, even on my freaking phone. And I've got Verizon, okay? Even when I'm trying to go into stuff on there, every now and then I'll see some buffering where things seem to be taking a little bit longer to enter in. That's the effect of the net neutrality being taken away, folks. Take the time to observe these sort of things, these subtle little changes that's happening to our internet. It's happening.
That is exactly right. What is happening is they are forcing websites to pay bribes for faster internet. They're also doing the same with consumers. You want your internet a little bit faster, you have to pay for faster speeds. They're telling some consumers this. They're even telling websites this. And it's going to get even worse by tomorrow. And yes, right now, Congress, the Senate, has been the only force that's actually passed their version of the CRRA, the Congressional Reform Act, to basically say the senators, even some Republicans, are saying, no, this is not right. You need to keep the internet free and open. And now they're trying to get the House to do their version, and so they can combine it together before they can give it to the president. And then they're also going to try to find some votes for an override of a veto if President Trump decides to veto the situation.
Mm-hmm.
If they're allowed to do, because some vetoes from presidents can be override depending on the subject. And
Absolutely.
right now, also, here's some good news. Certain states like California and hopefully Virginia have passed their own net neutrality laws so that to help restore net neutrality in their states. And some states might even go to the public option which means internet will be owned publicly, not privately by just the ISPs. The only
Mm.
flaw is that some ISPs are now trying to sue any state that will try to do that, and it's only the courts of the state that will decide if it's constitutional or not.
Okay. Wow. That's
It's
crazy.
this whole states' rights thing. The states' rights thing. See, Ajit Pai is trying to do it. He thinks he's doing it where you can't create states' laws that protect net neutrality. There might be a way to basically find a loophole that will allow you to create a state law because, once again, you want states to have states' rights, but then a subject like this, all of a sudden you don't want states' rights. So some states are trying to find loopholes against the FCC and again, well, at least against the GPI, so they can restore net neutrality. So, what
I
is your
see.
thoughts on that, Mister?
Um, well, the last I heard about what was happening is that they said that they were, I think, New York State, they were going to file an injunction there to stop what was happening. I live here in California, and I think Governor Brown said that they would do everything they can to maintain net neutrality in California because we got all the tech companies out here. Matter of fact, they in California, they're talking about, you know what, we can create our own. They're saying, let me just say this. In California, because we have all the tech industry here outside of Austin,
Silicon
Texas.
Valley. Yes, Silicon Valley.
Yeah, Silicon Valley, but then keep in mind you've got Austin, Texas, which is the second growing tech area in Texas. But they're saying that that if this net neutrality doesn't get turned around, that they are prepared to build independent infrastructure here in California to maintain our equal access to internet, separate from the rest of the country, because we have specially trained people here and we have the industry. You see what I'm saying? This is how this has been an attack. Pi is just nothing but a yaki, and the FCC is their job is to protect us against this very thing. And they basically, since Donald Trump came aboard, they have weaponized the FCC against us. They're supposed to give people equal access, and they've turned this around. So I have a lot of concerns because all of us that are on YouTube and social media, this has allowed us to be independent in our thinking, to be independent in our reporting of the news, because we know that the corporate news on TV is complete garbage. And this is a way to stop the voices of people. I think Trump doesn't like social media. He likes to use it for himself, but he doesn't like it because he knows that people use this social media to tell people the truth. The government secretly would love to see the internet just be squashed away from all of us so that they don't have reports about what their dirty deeds, because the internet has opened the door to us to be able to expose the corruption in this country across the world with people reporting independently. What do you feel about that?
Yes, that is true. The only thing is, the reason why some politicians are for net neutrality is because it's the only way they can stay in office. They know that this is going to cause a big revolt by voters this upcoming midterm election. So this is why another thing is we really need to start our political power, start using our political power to find candidates and don't just vote for them, but also demand stuff. Vote and demand. The one thing we we do is we give away our votes, but we don't demand or say that if you do not do this, we will not vote for you. You need to really start not only using your exercise right to vote, but your right to demand. Vote and demand,
Mm-hmm.
not just only vote or just only demand. Vote and demand, and you'll see a lot of stuff, um, bad stuff happen less, and you probably will start finding an economic power source, a political power source. And then also there's the option of creating your own political party and try to put it into government.
Yeah, yeah. But we gotta how can I say this though? We need to really stay on our P's and Q's. as to we need to follow this, because if you notice in the media right now, how many people do you hear reporting about net neutrality? Matter when I did my video um, about net neutrality, I didn't hear anybody. It wasn't many people talking about it. I mean,
Only the
I
independent media
yeah,
has been talking about it.
yeah, and
You may get stories.
mm-hmm, Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
You may get a few stories, some in favor of net neutrality, others against it, but it's been mostly the independent media. There's this white guy by the name of his show is called The Humanist Report. He has been very heavily on the net neutrality situation. In fact, a Jeep Pie has actually targeted him at a private meeting at one time because Ajit Pai does not like the Humanist Report reporting against him.
Okay, interesting. Interesting. Um, I don't know, man. We're gonna have to keep an eye on what's going on. Right
Yeah,
now, you're doing a live stream about this issue, and I'm going to bring it up again. You don't have too many people talking about this, even on YouTube. I'm not hearing it. I haven't heard any follow up to what's going on. Have you been privy to any information related to what's happening in the courts in terms of stopping this? Have you heard anything? Seems like everything's been on silent. You don't hear CNN talking about it, MSNBC, because they spend all their time talking about everything that Trump is doing wrong, but yet there's no impeachment. They spend all their time today talking about him meeting with the president of Korea, who I don't give a damn about him meeting with Korea, because it won't bear any fruit good for us. I mean, shit. One minute he calls the man a little missile boy. Now he wants to meet with him, and he goes to the G7 summit and he upsets all the other world powers. And this is
that
the sort of stuff that is blinding us from these other issues that we're facing in this country, such as net neutrality.
that is because Comcast is the parent company of NBC and Universal Pictures. Comcast has the right to tell NBC not to cover certain news stories. And CNN, they're trying to get into a merger with AT&T. AT&T is in fate, and plus they have their own cable news network. And you see Comcast and Time Warner hate Netflix, and they even hate YouTube a little bit because they have been losing customers to these websites because YouTube has YouTube TV, Netflix airs the same shows that anything that Comcast and Time Warner runs, and because of that, and the internet has been taking a lot of cable corporation customers like Comcast. Some customers will only ask for the internet service, but not the cable box because they're getting their media from the internet.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's right. You're right. But the example that I used, we definitely can't underestimate the fact that um, there's a chance that we might all get a leaflet in the mailbox from our local cable companies telling us that there will be changes to our internet service. And the thing about net neutrality being gone is that they can charge us whatever they see fit to charge. A lot of these companies want to bust everything up, but you got streaming companies like Netflix. They're not happy about this because Netflix will be a loser in this because they make a lot of money. Everything's staying just the way it is through the streaming. If you slow the streaming down with the buffing, that's going to hurt platforms like Netflix. And let's be honest, cable television such as the HBOs and Showtimes of the world, they would love to see platforms like streaming platforms like Netflix take a hit because that's their competition, right? You're able to watch movies a lot cheaper by just saying hell with it. I don't need HBO and Showtime. I'll watch everything on Netflix, or maybe I'll get Hulu, you know?
Now, here's the interesting thing: Comcast owns a percentage of Hulu. They
Oh, okay.
probably will spare Hulu because they own a piece of it. Disney owns another piece of it. I think Time Warner also owns a piece of Hulu. They'll probably spare Hulu for now. But the reason why they will go after Netflix heavily is because Netflix is independently owned. It's not owned by Disney. They work with the companies, but they don't get owned by them. In fact,
Okay.
sometimes they have to work on deals to air their stuff on Netflix.
Oh,
And
is
the
that
thing
so?
is, this issue has happened before, where Netflix at one time was having a buffering issue in the past. And that was why Obama put in the Title II. Now, before Obama put in the Title II, the only way that Netflix was able to stop the issue was that if they paid ISPs extra money to get faster, to allow their websites to run faster through the ISPs, and for consumers to be able to access the websites through faster just by paying for faster internet.
Wow.
Obama stopped that with Title II,
Mm-hmm.
and then Trump and the FCC just got rid of that.
Okay. Now, Pi set up there with his pompous self, trying to make the argument that it would be no problem, that we would still be able to do all the same things that we were doing before without it, that it would somehow make internet better for all of us. Um, but we know that this was all for corporate benefit at the end of the day, and um, and I think that's where it gets lost in all of this. That at the end of the day, the corporations only see money as recoverable, and people as expendable, and they don't care about it whether you're great grandma or someone that lives in a rural environment, or a young kid is trying to um, learn something and they need access to internet. They don't really care about that. This is all about money, which is the greed of America, which in some ways America is crumbling down itself, telling us to be afraid of someone from the outside, a boogeyman to get us. But the boogeyman is internally inside of this country. And internet, hell, I go all the way back to when it first came about. It was called the worldwide net. Okay, when we were using floppy disks. Okay, worldwide. Nobody uses that term anymore. The worldwide, net anymore. That sounds kind of goofy to say that, but I go all the way back to that time. Hell, when you had to put your phone, had to take you would dial into, you had a rotary phone, and you would dial into the internet to get online and take your phone at home and stick it into a particular device on the computer, connect it to the computer, and then to get on the World Wide Web. I go that far back with this thing. We've come a long way, and now they're trying to bring us right on back to that, because that was very slow internet service. It would sometimes take you forever for you to get that connection to your phone, through the dial tone.
Yes. The thing is, what was I about to say is that Ajit Pai, he wants a bonus. You see, before Ajit Pai was in the FCC, he was a lawyer for Verizon. If he were to leave the FCC, even if he gets fired or quits, as long as net neutrality is not an issue, Verizon could just hire him back with an extra bonus. He'll get a big bonus out of this. He's hoping to get his lawyer job back, being a lawyer, or even get a office position at Verizon with an extra big payday.
Yeah.
That's what a G Pi wants, because he
Okay.
once was their client. Well, he Verizon was his client as a lawyer.
So he's willing to sell himself out for the money, which is pretty much goes hand in pretty much been a tradition in this country for people to engage in. So it always comes down to that at the end of the day. Follow the money. you know,
Yep.
at the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to with people. Seems to be just crazy. But let me back to the question I brought up before. Are you personally are you personally uh experiencing any delay or see any differences in your internet service, whether it be your phone, computer, any devices that you have?
Not that I know of,
You haven't
but
noticed it.
not that I know of, but I think I've had where I'm in certain areas where it's slow to go to a certain video and stuff. So yeah, I might be experiencing a little bit of what you're experiencing. Now, Comcast is not even supposed to do certain stuff. It's because they're under a clause that they have to wait till this fall before they can start doing stuff. Verizon does not have that clause. I
Yeah.
have Verizon for the family's phone service. My parents and my sister and my brother. Well, my brother's out of the house, but yeah, we use Verizon. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe the effects is happening through Verizon because they have no clause that will stop them from doing this. And we're hoping that Virginia at least state that here in Virginia will get some kind of executive order or a vote from the state assembly or House of Delegates, and then later a signature from the governor to restore net neutrality here in Virginia.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, because there are states that have put in executive orders, and
Yes.
states like California, where and hopefully soon in New York, they have already restored the state net neutrality through votes from state houses, while state governors from other states has put in executive orders. And then of course you have the attorney generals and tech companies doing lawsuits and other court cases. Some may already go to the Supreme Court to or just the district federal court to basically say that this is not right. This is a violation of democracy and freedom of speech and freedom of expression, because
Mm-hmm.
that's exactly what it is. You're silencing people's voices for profit.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. This is exactly what's going on. And if we in the black community, we can't afford to lose this kind of access that we have right now. Say what you will about social media, but there's one thing I'm noticing is it does bring us together, whether it be negative or positive. It brings us together. You can see that all over YouTube. You have black folks coming together under one accord, speaking about issues that speak to us. You may have some negativity on YouTube that's there, but for the most part, you've got black folks coming together. Um, and trying to come up with solutions. This is why it's powerful. I mean, just think about this. 20, 40, 30, 40 years ago, I could never imagine that I could talk to someone. Brother, where are you located at, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm not going to really say, but let's
Well,
just say I'm in the state of Virginia.
yeah, yeah. I'm not saying your actual, just say the state, brother. That's all. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, you're in
I don't
Virginia.
want yeah, I don't want to say my personal
No, 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 no,
address.
no, 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 brother. That's not what I'm asking you. Basically, what I'm trying to say is you're in Virginia. I'm in
Yeah,
California. I could never imagine this years and years ago that I could get on a computer like this and I can talk to someone like yourself across the country at ease. Matter of fact, even look at you on my computer visually and say, "What's up, brother?" We could all get on this platform and be from all over the country. Somebody's from New York, someone's from California, someone's from the South, and we could all converge onto this system and talk about things that affect us. And it shows you that, wow, black folks, wherever we live in this world, um, and we can talk to folks that live out of the country. Wherever we live in this world, we have things that unite us. Okay. That's very powerful. Okay. You think they want us to have that power? No.
they don't. That is why when I say that we need to fund Black Spot and Black Junction TV on
Mm-hmm.
their GoFundMe pages so that Black Spot and Black Junction can pay the bribes to go into the faster internet, or at least a different speed, a decent speed, so that they will be able to have access certain speeds to help people get through their websites.
Yeah. Well,
Because
brother, if I don't know if you know already, or maybe you've heard me make this announcement. I've made personal contact with Brother Youssef, who is the founder. I think it's two brothers, but I've talked to one of the founders just yesterday, actually. And in about 2 weeks, I'm going to be doing a live stream interview with Brother Youssef of Black Junction TV. I did tell him that we believe in the Black YouTube world, that if he gets the live streaming off the ground, that could be the game changer for Black Junction TV. And it could cause a lot of us to be able to go over there and do a lot of our streaming over there. And I believe we should put more of our hardcore content on that platform and put our watered down content on YouTube once that platform gets stronger. So he on June the 24th, which will be 2 weeks from now, which will be a Sunday, 3 o'clock Western time, 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. I will have brother on, and I will have people to I'll bring some folks onto the panel, and I'll have people in the chat room to do a little Q&A. I'm going to interview him about what got him inspired to create the platform. And then he told me personally that he is prepared to give us some exclusive information as to what's going on with Black Junction TV. I know that they have a GoFundMe where you can donate $10 to $20, whatever you can afford, towards the live stream that they're trying to get to that level. And he explained to me where they need to go with their equipment to get to that level. And he says that they do have some things in the works. And I think he's going to bless us with some exclusive information in 2 weeks from now. I would have had him on this upcoming weekend, but he's told me he'd be busy with his family next weekend. So we're going to do it in a 2-week period. So, brother, I'm telling you right now, we're going to get some answers to these questions. And I believe if they get that live stream jumping off, I don't think there's no need for us to do live streaming on YouTube anymore and have to deal with them taking our stuff down and harassing us, you know?
that is great. You should also ask them what that they have planned to do, at least financially or anything with in the course of the net neutrality situation. You should also ask them. Yes, you should also tell them about how could they prepare when it comes to the net neutrality repeal, or if net neutrality gets restored.
Okay. What I might do, brother, when I have him on, because I'm going to interview him and then I'm going to lead time for some Q&A, and I might just bring some folks on a panel, and then I'll have my man Lionsden read off people's comments in the chat room, and then have some folks on a panel ask specific questions. I want it to be very specific because I don't want the live stream to be I don't want to bring the panel on and have it be this sort of thing where people are talking over each other. I want it to be very professional. So since we now are connected by the Google Hangout contact, I have you in my contacts, I can send you a link, because I'm probably going to send these links privately because I don't want anybody sneaking into the chat room. I have this idiot, Real Brother, he goes by the name, who's been harassing me, and I put reports on his behind. He's a troll. And I don't want his behind getting into the chat room while I'm talking professional stuff with a brother who's got a platform that we need to be focusing on. You hear what I'm saying?
All right. Do you know the specific name of this person so I can at least be aware?
If I was you, brother, I would go to his name. He goes by the name of Real Brother. Okay, that's the name of Real Brother Radio. That's what he calls himself. He has everybody knows about him. True Royal Family. Hell, he's been blocked by some of the bigger YouTubers. Angel, Tariq, even Boris Watkins had to get rid of him. He's been trolling all of us. Last night when I did my program, he tried to he snuck into my panel, because he creates phony profiles. And as soon as I saw his profile, I deleted him right off the chat, I rejected him right out quickly before he could even say anything out of his mouth. He came into a program another night, and I tried to be cordial with him and say, hey, brother, let's, because I'm not into arguing with people and having beefs on YouTube. That's childish. I said, let's have a conversation. Let's talk about the issues. And he began to disrespect everybody on the panel. We had to set him straight and then reject him out of the room. So if I was you, brother, I would definitely look up his page and go to it and just block him automatically. I made that announcement to everybody that's been following me because they all know about him. He goes into the chat rooms and he makes these pre-prepared chats, and he just throws them in the chat room, and it has nothing to do with the subject matter that you're talking about. When he does this, he completely tries to disrupt anything that you're doing. So I had everybody report him last night, and I just put out a big report on him today. So I want to give you a heads up because he will be. I guarantee you, this individual you will see this individual in your chat room at some point in time. He likes to troll all the black YouTubers. See, his whole philosophy is that he feels that he's into this thing where he doesn't like when he hear people talk about white supremacy, because his thing is that white people are not supreme. And I told him I agree with him on those issues, but he likes to argue. He shouts over people. He's just very disruptive. He might be an agent, matter of fact. I think he's an agent, but that's another issue. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Does his website thing goes by RBR Network?
RBR. Yeah, RBR Network. He's got like you can see on the picture art, he's got like computers, he's got mix boards, and then he's got all of his videos is him and his big old head and glasses.
Oh yes,
with his white shirt and tie. You familiar with this guy?
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of his videos. I think I was just subscribed to him, but looks like I'm not subscribed to him no longer. I've just unsubscribed to his unsubscribed to him now that I'm hearing who this individual is.
I mean, I don't know, brother, how much of his content you've listened to, brother. When he talks, he makes some interesting points, but he rambles and it becomes you can go on there right now. He made 2 videos where he says real brother versus information man. I'm like, what the hell? I even tried to call up his program, and I even had my man Lions then go in and say, hey, brother, I'm putting out the olive branch. Let's work together. Let's talk. Let's not. And I went on there and I had, he tried to mute me and all that kind of nonsense. And I made a mistake. I should have never went on there. And most of the people that are in his chat room are basically white trolls who like to argue with him because he, one of the things that he says that I find interesting is he says that white people are third graders and that that white people are not superior. And he'll say some things that's inspiring to for black people to hear, but he rambles and he makes unsensical statements. And most of the people in his chat room are white people who troll him. And he sits up there and he talks in the third person and he talks to them. And then he's going around every YouTuber that has blocked them out of their chat room. He makes a response video where he says, real brother versus Angel, real brother versus Dr. Voice. And then now he's done at least 1 or 2 videos about me. And he even had the audacity to use my material from one of my videos, my audio, which I should have reported that as copyright infringement, but that's another issue. Yeah, he's quite a character, brother. Beware of him.
All right. Thank you for telling me this. Thank you for the warning.
Yes, brother. Very necessary.
All right.
You know what? Do you mind if I try to see if I can get my man Lions Den on? He could speak upon this net neutrality as well. Let me see if I can get him to. I'm gonna get him to. I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna give him a call right now, and try to see if I can get him onto the platform. Which, with you, let me see right now. I'm gonna mute myself for the moment so I don't disturb your sound. Hang on for a moment. I'm gonna mute myself and make contact with him. Give me a moment.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Hopefully he'll get his friend over. But yes, the internet for the past since its foundation was meant to be a new way of communication, a new way to connect the world. And now all of that is just being threatened by this idiot, by the Trump administration and by the Ajit Pai run FCC. let me just show you some pictures. I mean, look at this. This is the face of evil, and he's not the only face of evil. This is another face of evil. Well, this guy right here. So this is these two men are basically they're the Johnny Quest and Haji of destroying the internet. These two are basically the Johnny Quest Haji dynamic duo, and they basically instead of um going on adventures with Dr. Quest and Race Bandit and the little dog, they basically are trying to just destroy our internet. These two men have the nerve to just basically just destroy our internet. Now, I did mention earlier that the Senate, which is almost all the Democrats and a few Republicans, have already put down their bill of the CRA Act to basically stop the to basically stop the repeal of net neutrality. Now they're waiting on the House to do it. The House has so far like 20 to like 200 something Republicans and only 190 something Democrats that are in the Congress, the House of Congress. And basically, that means the Republicans are the majority, and the Speaker of the House, whoever is the majority leader, which is in this case Paul Ryan, he's also has the title of Speaker of the House. Democrats have been urging him to do a vote in the House regarding the CRA Act, which will also help in stopping the repeal of net neutrality, or at least restore it after the repeal of the net neutrality has been expired tomorrow. Governors, mayors have been putting down executive orders to passing laws or writing bills to basically help restore at least the state level net neutrality. You have attorney generals and tech companies and even consumers. Not only are they forming boycotts and protests, they're also suing FCC for violations of freedom of speech and freedom of expression, because in some way that's exactly what this repeal of net neutrality is doing. It's basically violating the freedom of speech, and the internet has been a pinnacle of democracy, which means if the internet was to be destroyed, democracy would basically end if no other forms of democracy is still alive. And then we'll end up like Nazi Germany, or basically Russia under the communist Russia when it was called the Soviet Union, or basically the Russia of today, though not communist, it's still under the dictating rule of Vladimir Putin, or the communist rule of China. They are the only other nation known in the world. Them and I think a couple other nations, Mexico, are the only other nations where they do not have net neutrality already. And it's caused isolation. People have been isolated from certain resources or information because net neutrality does not exist in their nations. This is something that dictatorous nations would allow to happen. And now with Trump in office, That's exactly what is happening. United States of America is becoming a police state and a fascist state. It's basically trying to do one of the strategies that Hitler did, and that was attack the media. Trump is doing in a Tea Pie are attacking media because a lot of the media, a lot of the news, with the exception of Fox, and even sometimes Fox, has been against some of the decisions that President Trump has been making. And now the cable companies are supporting this because this is the last chance cable companies have to getting audiences in their the channels that they watch that or owned. I'm pretty much almost about to end this, but I will try to wait on Info Man. So he's supposed to bring his friend Lion Den. If not, then I'll wrap this up. I'm just gonna look in the comment sections to see if anyone has been talking in the comment section about the situation.
So yeah, I contacted him, brother. I don't know. He said he was familiar with your channel. I sent him. He said
Yeah,
he has followed your channel, and
yeah,
I
he's
told him.
subscribed.
Okay, I told him to come into the chat room and hit the link. So I don't know why he's not in the chat room. I think he might have been asleep when I called him. So, but if you're gonna end the stream, brother, I totally it's no problem at all.
Yeah,
You know,
I have.
we can always do another stream another time about other subject matters, brother. It's no problem at all. I just thought since you were talking about this issue, I wanted him to put his money in on it because he's got some issues with this net neutrality thing too. So if you are listening, Lions Den, hit the link and come on in, brother. If you can't come in, leave something in the chat room and let us know.
There is one thing I would like to say is I'm glad that you're going to be doing a live stream with the owners of Black Junction TV. I'm hoping that one day that at least one of us will also try to get in contact with Daryl Cluis. Daryl Cluis is the owner of Black Spot of the Black Spot organization.
Well, I got you there, brother.
Yeah,
I got you there.
I know Prince Sullivan and Serious Ignorance. Those are the cats who run Thought Crimes show. You are you subscribed to Thought Crimes or watch their show? Because I watch their stuff.
No, brother. I need to get their link so I can. I never heard of them, and I like to know who they are. So
yeah.
If you have any way to send me their information, you have my email now. I'll check it out. Listen, want to give you a heads up too. True Royal Family. She knows the guy that runs Black Spot. She's one of the ones that's been saying that it would be great if they could merge with Black Junction TV because they've got infrastructure that they don't have, and that's one of the reasons why I would like to bring True Royal Family onto the panel to also bring that question up. I might even consider seeing if she can get them on the stream as well because I think it would be exciting. So you bring up a very exciting prospect.
Yes, this is good. When you plan on doing this stream again? I forgot the day you plan to do this.
I'll be reminding people. I'm going to be promoting it for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be June 24th, which is a Sunday. It'll be at 3 p.m. Western time, 5 o'clock Central time, 6 o'clock Eastern time. I'm going to be reminding people. I'll be doing live streams to remind people leading up to the time. I told the brother if anything changes in his schedule to let me know, but he told me that he's confirmed with me that that day is a go with him. It's an okay go. So I'll be promoting this for the next couple of weeks, putting it in everybody's ears about this because I'm hoping to be able to draw a lot of YouTubers over to listen to what this brother's saying because I think Black Junction TV is the future for us. YouTube, we can simply, like I said, we can use YouTube in a way in which we can just put our more watered down material and put our more hardcore material over in Black Junction TV. And we don't have to deal with all of the stuff that we have to deal with as Black YouTubers on this system. And I say Black YouTubers because we're not treated the same as other people.
Yeah. I might be kind of busy that day, but I mean, I wish I could show up maybe at the last minute or something.
Or what you could, if you're not able to make it, brother, those questions that you asked, we need to have that. I need to have that emailed to me so that I can say your name and say, hey, brother J Dog said he's not with us today, but he has these questions. Okay. Because you asked some very on point questions, brother.
All right. Sorry, I was talking with someone, but I heard what you said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think Lions Den's coming on, man. I just called him, and if he was coming, if he was coming on, if he couldn't come into the live stream, he should have. I would think if he's on your channel, he told me he knows your channel. I would have think that he would have wrote something in the chat room to say, hey, I can't get in. The link's not working, but he's not even doing that. So I tell you. Anyway, sorry about that, brother. I thought he would come in. I'm gonna
I'm pretty much gonna wrap this up, but thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone for watching and for watching the first part. Yeah, the only reason why I made a part 2 was because of the connection dysfunction. But that's all I have to say. If you have a way to help out, just protest, call your congressman and tell them that you want net neutrality restored. Make sure you vote in the midterm elections.
Most definitely.
And also, hopefully, you'll be able to watch further videos. I am planning on uploading more videos on different topics. I'm also going to try to do a couple live streams, maybe this week and weekend, on the crowdfunding thing I was going to talk about, and the Black Spot GoFundMe and the Black Junction TV GoFundMe might be one of the crowdfunding things I'll be talking about. And it's not going to be just, I'm going to be doing a thing called campaigns, crowdfunding campaigns, and they're going to be about different campaigns that we can help out. I think I'm going to talk about one that Phil the Advice Show is doing. I wish I can get him on here, but I'm at least going to try to help him get some donors to fund their thing, even if I can't get the actual people.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to tell the reasons why we should fund these things. So that might be an upcoming live stream I do this week or weekend. I'll probably make an announcement on a video in the future. But that's all I got to say. Thank you for your time. I'm about to click off.
All right, brother. Thank you. We can do it again, brother, and have a good evening. And I'm sorry about my Lions Den. I thought he would be here, and he's not here. So I have to talk to him because I like to be professional about stuff. Thank you.
All right. Enjoy your evening. And thank you for all watching.